Just start, please, by explaining what the message is that President Obama is trying to convey to King Salman.
Reassurance, Olivia. And look, this has been a tense relationship between two very important allies for a number of years now. A lot has to do with Syria. In most near term, you have to deal with Yemen. But when it comes to this Iran deal, it's not so much that Saudi Arabia is against the deal itself. They are against what Iran can do with the money it's getting through sanctions relief. The administration estimates Iran, at least in the near term of this deal, would have about $56 billion in sanctions relief. Their argument to the Saudi Arabians is, look, Iran will be using that to help their economy that's really been cratered over the last 5 years. The concern, both the Saudi Arabia and other Gulf states, is that's not even remotely the case. That money will go straight into military options to foment more problems within that region. What the president will be saying today, according to administration officials, Olivia, is the United States is willing to help with defense capabilities, but also work with other Gulf states to prevent Iran from making movement forward, no matter what it does with that money it's getting at the end of this deal.
Phil, as you know, one of the key criticisms of the nuclear deal has been that it could spark a nuclear arms race in the region, and specifically that it will, that why wouldn't Saudi Arabia try to develop their own nuclear weapons? And there's always been this sort of implicit security guarantee from the U.S. to the Saudis. What can President Obama say to King Salman to deter the Saudis from building their own atomic weapons?
The hope within the administration right now, Olivia, is with what the United States is offering now in terms of weapons, in terms of munitions, in terms of cooperation just in general on maritime issues, on border issues, on cybersecurity, that's enough. But I do think that there's a real concern, not necessarily within the administration. I think they feel like this is overblown if you talk to them about it. But there is a real concern internationally that this deal is only going to lead to one thing, and that's what, as you said, Olivia, a race towards a nuclear bomb. But I do think right now the administration believes that what they have on the table, the carrots, if you will, are enough to convince the Saudis not to kind of follow that pathway.
Certainly that is the hope. Phil, of course, they're also going to talk about terrorism. What is Saudi Arabia doing to fight ISIS, and what is the nature of U.S.-Saudi cooperation in that fight?
I think if you talk to administration officials in their most candid moments, they would probably say not enough. I think there's a lot of concern right now that Saudi Arabia should be doing more, Gulf states should be doing more. The administration from the very beginning of their plan to counter the Islamic State has relied heavily on the participation of the Gulf states, most notably Saudi Arabia's ability to kind of control, maybe move around large Sunni elements in certain parts of Iraq and in Syria. Now, the problem I think that the administration has run into is they just haven't had the buy-in that they want. So I think what you'll see today is the Obama administration, the president himself, delivering the message that it's time for more cooperation.